Hello everyone and welcome to my corner of the world. Now I'm supposed to be doing this as a live, but for some reason I just cannot get YouTube Live to work. I've been trying for the last 20 minutes and it still will not work. So I decided I would record this and publish it straight away, and hopefully you will enjoy what I'm going to share today, even though we've not got it live. So today I'm going to focus on circles. We have this lovely die set with this set of layering circles, and they're decal edged, and so they've got lovely rough edges which make a beautiful finish on the edges of the card. And I thought we would use those. And just to remind you that we've also got the decal edged rectangles. I'm not going to be using these today, but if you like, they kind of come complement one another. Okay, so circles, and I thought a circular card. And normally at this point I would ask you to help me choose a card color because that is what I do on my lives. You help me design, but I did pull a couple of card colors out, and I also pulled out the All About Autumn decorative paper, and this comes in 6x6, and if you look at it, I have used it before on a card. They've got like photographic images on one side and then lovely patterns with gilding on the other side. And so as you see, they're lovely autumny type, autumn type designs. I think there's a knitwear one somewhere. There you go, which is a lovely one. But for a circular card, I was thinking this one would be a good starting point, and that if I sort of cut a circle I could get like the leaves in the corners and then take it from there. So having said that, I've got my two card colors here, which I'm going to use. Right, so I'm thinking this one would give quite a good contrast if I use the crumb cake. So maybe I'll try that one. And we're gonna start. Oh, get that one out the way and get myself a sheet of this crumb cake. I tell you, the system not working has thrown me all of a doodah. I'm not thinking straight at the moment, so forgive me. Now, I want to try and use the biggest circle in the set. So this will mean that I'm going to end up with a card that will go in a 5x7 inch envelope. Which will still go for normal postage. So this is it's about 5 3/4 inches. So I should be able to get one card out of a sheet of cardstock. So if I get my trusty trimmer, and I'm just going to put this in a score line at the halfway mark. So this is 8.5 by 11. So I'm just going to put a score in at 5.5. Excuse me, got a frog in my throat now. And then I'm going to line this up so I can get my circle. Now I need this piece at the top. I need this hinge because obviously I don't want two pieces of cardstock. I want one joined together. So I'm gonna get my cut and emboss machine. And for this one, I'm going to use the base number 1. And I've got my little adapter, which is the number 2. And then I'm going to put a clear plate, which is number 3. And there's my clear plate. And then my card. And then the die. Now you can see that this just fits on all of that. Just. So I'm going to bring this down like that. And I'm going to add something to just stop it moving, because obviously I don't really want it to move away from the position that I've put it. So this is like a reel of post-it note, sticky note, but it's sticky all on the back, and it works really well. It sticks onto the card, but it doesn't permanently stick onto my card. And then I need to put another clear plate on top. All right, so we're gonna line everything up. Now, come on, I don't think I've got quite lined up here. There we go. Right. Now, this is going to go through 2 thicknesses of card, and I'm a bit concerned that it might not cut on the first pass. So I'm going to run it through one time, like that. And then I'm just going to run it through a second time, just to make sure I get a good cut through 2 pieces of card. And you can see I am doing it slowly. I want to give the time for those rollers to put pressure on the cutting edge of my die, and hopefully we get a good result. Look at that. Look, I got a lovely clean cut. So I'm pretty delighted about that. At least something's going well for me today. So that's using the largest circle in the set. I'll pop that over there so I don't get it lost. And there I've got my nice card started. All right. Now I want to cut my piece to go in the middle here. And so I need to decide what would be the best size for this. So this is the next one down. And I think that that's a bit too close. So I'm going to use the next but one. So this is the 3rd largest. And I think that that gives me a really nice margin there. So this time I'm going to position this so that I get a nice piece at the top, and I want a nice hollow empty piece there. And I'm just going to take it back a little bit so I get a flat edge there. Right, fingers crossed that we've got that lined up. Oh, let's use my bits of tape. All right, so this is just a single piece of paper this time, so I'm just going to run it through once. And you can see it's a lot easier to run through. Okay, let's take this back and see what we've got. So that looks really good. I really, really like that. All right. Now this is going to need an inside piece. So I'm going to use the same size circle as I just used on the decorative paper, and because it's sort of an autumny theme, I decided that I would use vanilla cardstock. I think that would give me a nice sort of autumny feel. So let's bring our back in, and using the same setup, we're going to use exactly the same setup. Right. Righty-ho. And this time I'm gonna have another little flat bit, so I'm just pulling this so I've got a flat bit there, and get this stuck down again. I usually find that some of this sticky tape stuff will work for like several pieces. I might be able to get this entire card done just using those two little pieces. So it can work out quite economic. And you could use washi tape or painter's tape, but I just find that this has got sufficient adhesive without getting stuck down and lifting the surface of your paper when you pull it out. Okay, so let's see what we've got here. All right. So now in my card, I have a front piece and an inside piece. And while I think about what I'm going to do next, I'm going to do a little bit of sponging, and I think this will give it a bit of a vintage look. Must admit, I hadn't really thought about vintaging, so it's just a little bit of sponge, and I've got some crumb cake ink, so that gives me a little bit of colour on the edge, very subtle, but I don't want it to be like in your face wild. Just all right, and a little bit at the top, and I'm just going to put some in the middle. Now this has given me some time to have a little think about what I want to do next. I did pull out a stamp set with a leaf on it, and it's a stamp set that I have used so much on my various cards and samples and my videos. And it's called, drum roll please, Inked and Tiled. And I chose this because it's got a lovely leaf. Isn't that a lovely leaf? Just love that. So I'm going to use that. Let's get some paper. I'm going to use that on the inside. Here's my leaf there, and we just pop that on a block. Let's see, get a block out. It's a bit on the big side, but hey, that'll work. Now I want a very pale one on the inside. Let's see what that gives me. Oh, that's lovely. This is quite a dry pad, which I deliberately did not re-ink because I know I wanted a very pale finish. There, what do you think? I like that. And I think I'm going to put one that other side. It's perfect that this is actually curved. Hey, hey, how about, oh, that is just so elegant. Okay, I'm surprising myself here now, bearing in mind that I had a bit of a thing with YouTube not working as I expected this morning. Okay, so that's gonna go in there like that. A little bit of adhesive. Just gonna kind of line up my edge here and get a nice even border around there. Right, so then I've got this piece here. I don't think I'm going to stick it down just yet. I think what I'm going to do is I've got this stamp set, which is Kindest Expressions, and I like the big old stamps. Oh happy day, sending sunshine and rainbows, thanks so much, excuse me, with sympathy. So let's have a look to see which we should use. Now I quite like the idea of using thanks so much. We could put it to the bottom here, but if I want to use a circle, I don't know. The engineer in me wants to use a circle, but I could offset it, I suppose. What do you think? Oh, it's no good asking you. You can't answer today. Okay. Right. Let's use, I think this one here is just a tinsy on the small side. Yeah, I need to use this one. Okay, right. Now, let's move that to one side. Have I got enough on here? Yes, I do. So what we're going to do is, this time I'm going to use the Cajun Craze because I think that would be nice and bold. Let's see if this fits on. Yeah, that'll fit on. I'm just going to test it on my grid paper just to see. Yep, I think I like that. Right. So if I put this here, I'll have enough room to cut that out. Right, so let's get this out of the way so I don't get myself messed up, and get the old machine back in again. And I'm going to use the same setup as I used for the other cuts. And this time I'm going to cut a full circle, and I think I might put that, I'm going to move this, that's a good idea, Cindy. I'm going to move this up a bit, so I've just got my thanks in there, and let's get it stuck down so it doesn't move. And see what we get. Right, now then, if that goes here, see, I'm losing a lot of my lovely leaves up there, aren't I? Right. I wonder if I was to trim this down. Okay, we're going to go for it and see what we get. I didn't do that very straight. So let's just try again. So I guess I know what I'm going to be doing this week is to try and investigate why YouTube isn't working the same way as it did last week. I just get so frustrated because it used to work so easily, and then it kind of changed a few months ago and I had a struggle with it then, and now it's not working at all for me anyway. I mean, I could do a short, but to be honest, I can't do this in 60 seconds. So what do you think to that? Okay, let's go with it. So again, I'm just going to sort of line up to get a nice border all the way round. Let's move this out of the way. Now I've got, for embellishments, I've got these rustic metallic dots. I've also got, and I think this is going to be too wild, this gold. I thought gold might work, but I think it's too wild. And I've got some of this. This is, and maybe I could pop some along the top there to add a little bit of texture. Let's see. I'm going to use this double-sided tape for this. Let's get that out the way like that, and it's got a little bit of fluffiness, right, and then I can just pop that across like that and press it down really firmly. I think that adds a little bit of texture to it. Like that. I didn't quite have it completely on my piece of paper, on my sticky tape. So that's good job it comes off nice and easy. There. A little bit of trimming now. There we go. So there, that gives me this. And then I can pop this up on some dimensionals. I think that's what I can do with that, make that, give that a little bit more presence. Now, should I put it straight or should I put it, oh, let's put it at an angle. And then I've got some of these nice rustic doodahs. Oh, there's one there. Wonder how that got on there. And we put another one there. And I'll get another one. And I'll pop a couple on there just to sort of pull everything together. There. Okay. Well, I think that's as much as I would want to do without going too much over the top. So there we've used those lovely decal edged circle dies, and I pulled in a couple of stamp sets. I know it's unusual for me to use more than one stamp set, but I really like this thanks, and I think that you could use this for maybe a Thanksgiving card, I don't know. And also my very favorite at this moment, my very favorite inked and tiled stamp set. Well, I truly appreciate you joining me today. Again, I'm sorry that this is recorded and not a live, but if you have enjoyed it, perhaps you'll go ahead, give me a thumbs up. If you've any questions or comments, you can always put those in the comments below. And if you don't already subscribe, perhaps you'll go ahead and do that for me as well. So here's a little close-up of the card. I'm going to bring it up nice and slowly so you don't get seasick. And I'll look forward to seeing you next week when we'll go for a live again. Well, thank you and bye-bye for now.